Well, hello, folks, and welcome to the number 23 Tuesday afternoon SPAC Chat. We're excited today to have a couple of people. These were people that were actually scholarship winners with the Strawbridge Scholarship last year. Jessi and Tosh of Errol Imaging, I'm sorry, Jessi and Errol of Tosh Imaging were the parties that were there. And we asked them if they would tune in and join us so that they can share with us some of the experiences that they had at SPAC 2019. We know that SPAC 2020 is going to be even more robust and even a bigger and better program. But we wanted them to share so that those that haven't joined us will understand the value proposition, as well as understand why we have become the #1 program in the industry. So without further ado, that's one of my favorite sayings when I'm on stage like this. Without further ado, we're going to pull Jessi in. Jess, how are you?
Good, how are you?
I'm wonderful. You're looking good. Square it up just a bit. Center up so we're in the frame. That works real well. Well, you know, one of the questions that we always have that folks want to know is, what's the real value of being a member or being an attendee at the SPAC conference? You guys, it was your first year. And as a first-year participant, share with us just one tidbit of the value expense related to return on that investment. What do you perceive it to be?
It's invaluable, I think. We learned so much by going to SPAC because you can work in this industry, and even though there's hundreds of people that might live in your city that do the same thing, you don't ever really talk to them. And I thought it was so unique to go to a place where we all do the same thing, we all have the same agenda, and you get to just pick everybody's brain to see what else they're doing and what is working for them, what's not working for them. And I think just overall, just meeting new people and hearing what they have to offer as far as your business goes was awesome.
That's fantastic. I'm just going to change the screen setting so we can get both of you into the image there. You know, as a Strawbridge Scholar, was that something that you guys applied for it and you were awarded it so that you could come and your fees, your basic fees were paid? Did you find that to be a real stimulus in your joining us or coming out last year?
Yeah, for our first year it was, because we as a business were struggling and monetarily, and so being able to write that essay and send in what we thought was important to our company and why it would be important to go to SPAC, and then being awarded that scholarship helped us out immensely. I mean, if
Phenomenal.
we could sometime in the future give back to that program, I mean, we definitely would give that opportunity to somebody else, because it really is such a unique experience.
You know, you're giving back right now, just sharing your experience with us. You know, we can shout it from the mountaintops, and we've got certainly evangelists out there that share the success of the program and the reach of the program. We have some dynamic people coming this coming year. They were there last year. We've got even more this year with the speakers and the programs. So we really appreciate you just spending this little bit of time. It is a give back right here. And we certainly hope that the business is moving forward with some of the things that you did learn. Tell me this, did you pick up on, or did you participate in some of the pre-conference classes?
We did. We split our time so that we could hopefully double our learning experience. And so Errol went to one, what was it called?
Brian and Neil from Free Photography.
Yeah.
And then I went to the other one. So it was more of the marketing information one. So.
And that really speaks to one of the things that we've had as a organizational recommendation, is the best word I can use, and that is, one person can't get enough out of this program for the value that it gives. There's so much going on and so much information that's being shared, openly shared, which is not a normal process in so many organizations and so many industries. But information is being shared, and when you bring 2 people or 3 people, it's even a much better experience for the company's success. And certainly you've seen that. Sure. So you did take advantage of the pre-conference programming, and that was good. Which part of the pre-conference programming did you take advantage of?
What was yours called? Do you remember?
Mine was how to get past the gatekeeper, basically. with Brian and Neil. And for me and for our business, that was probably the most important class that we took at SPAC. I mean, we learned a lot from every class, so that's really hard to say. But the year before, we went to about 20 new schools and didn't acquire one of them. And after we got back and after Neil and Brian's talk, we got every school we went to. Literally every school. We did not get turned down once. And 3 of those schools already had contracts signed with the large company.
So that certainly speaks to your the desire to return, because that return on investment was absolutely huge.
Yeah, I can't say enough about those 2 guys. I mean, it was unbelievable what they taught us.
Good. Tell us this. What were the top 3 classes? Do you have any idea? Do you recall what the top 3 were? Certainly that a door opener conversation that you must have gained information on was of value. What were the other ones?
I think Eric Miller's talk was really outgoing as well, and so was Nancy's on her dance, because we don't just do schools, we do sports as well, and it's been a little bit harder for us to break into the dance industry, so it was nice to hear Nancy talk about dance and how to get into that sort of thing. And then also there was I don't remember his name, but there was a guy who talked about like where our industry as a whole is going. And then he talked about like Life Touch's impact on our high volume business. And that was kind of eye opening too. I know everybody walked out of there and was like, I need a stiff drink now. So it was kind of a fun class to listen to as well.
Outstanding. What classes of the classes you took, what was the one that surprised you the most and added a lot of depth to what you were getting?
I would probably say Neil and Brian's class.
Yeah,
okay.
That to me, I mean, that was the one. That's what I really went to learn. I mean, I wanted to learn everything, but I really wanted to know, how can I go into a school as I'm not a salesman whatsoever, and how do I get past that lady in the front that just says, thanks, we already have somebody. And so they gave us all the ammunition for that. Not only that, but they gave it in the way they spoke to us was in a way that was not deceptive. And I think that's why we got the schools that we did, because they gave us actual tools to use that weren't, they weren't tricks. They weren't, ways to just slide by. They were just actual being yourself. And we got all those schools without even showing an image.
It's so interesting when we use the language of we're not salesmen, when the reality is all of us are sales. We were in sales at the time we came out of the womb. We knew how to tell mama we needed some milk. Right. So it's just funny, but we suppress that because there's oftentimes the concept or the idea that being a salesman is not good. People want to, in the olden days when you had door-to-door sales or even now telemarketing, nobody wants to answer the sales call on that. So right. That kind of embeds itself, and we have to get beyond that and understand that there's a huge value in just introducing and saying hi, and this is what we can offer you. That's really just break the ice and get the door open. Hey, did you take advantage of any of the one-on-one coaching that was available for you at the event?
We did. We try to maximize all of our time there. And so we met with Jamie Ford one of the days that we were there. Can't remember now. It's like a blur. It all just passes so fast. But yeah, we met with Jamie Ford, and she was excellent to sit down with and just chat and just give you that pick-me-up that you needed as a business to, keep pushing forward.
And she was able to help you on both the sports and the school side, portrait side?
I would think more portraits, school side. She didn't do much sports, but the school side.
All right.
She just listened to us where we're at in our business and gave us some suggestions, and this is what I would do. And it was just great to me. It was somebody that, knew all that stuff and has been there.
No kidding. She's been around for a while and she's been successful. What can you narrow down some practices that you were able to implement after attending SPAC that really made a big difference in your overall business operation? I mean, certainly the practice of how you go in the door and put your stuff on the table and say, let's do business. But is there anything else that you could share with us?
I think just the attitude that we had coming into a newer school when we're trying to get that school to sign with us was different. Instead of just saying like, hey, we're this company, you should use us. Like we just went in there with a better, happier, outgoing attitude. And I think that really showed that we were more confident in what we had to offer them, and they soaked it up, and it, everybody signed with us. So it's made it worth it.
I think that was it, the confidence. Like SPAC gave us a ton of confidence because you're talking to people all over the U.S. or in some cases all over the world, and they're all have the same struggles we do, and they all had different tricks, and you just kind of figured out what works for what. And for us, it was just like, yeah, we're gonna go every year. I mean, there's no doubt that we're
That's fantastic.
Yeah.
It's real funny when you say it gives you the confidence. It's a real confidence booster when you see everybody and you look around and you say, wait a minute, I'm as good as them. I could be doing this too. That really kind of boosts it and gets you on a different path. So I can absolutely attest to that. All of us are capable. Eric Miller kicked out a question, and I'm not sure what specific part of the conversation he was tuned into, but he wanted to know, what did they tell you and what were the tools that they gave you to use, whether they be intellectual tools or sources of equipment or material or whatever. What were the tools that you were able to get and implement into your systems?
I think it was the ability to not take the word no, like just to keep going with them, say like, well, that's great. And then to flip the conversation back to your side so that you can still continue a conversation with them, rather than just saying like, well, just leave your stuff on the counter and we'll look at it and we'll call you. Like we didn't accept that as an answer anymore, and so they gave us a lot of tools and what to say to these schools to keep that conversation going so that we could get a meeting with the person who makes the decisions.
And for me, it was more of like, I think we did the same approach that most people do. They walk into a school and they go, look at our beautiful work. This is what we have to offer. And the schools are like, yeah, great. Everybody has beautiful work and this is what they have to offer. We stopped bringing it. Well, we had stuff with us, but we honestly didn't even show the schools that we got because we never even got to that point. It was just like they just loved us for us. And it was more of, for me, finding what they don't like about their current situation. Because a lot of schools will turn you down and say, you know what, we're completely happy with what we have now. And you say to them, or through conversation, little things come out, and usually you can pinpoint, yeah, but they didn't like that. And that's when you can jump in and say, well, this is, our turnaround time is half the time of theirs. They're like, oh, that was the one thing I didn't like. And so that's, I think, the most valuable part of that was having a discussion with them, having them do most of the talking, which is hard for us. Usually we like to do the talking because we're trying to sell ourselves. And instead it was like we were interviewing them. That's what it felt like to us. We were interviewing them and we had the solutions for them. And so they went with us.
And as you say, you had the solutions. It wasn't as much about the product. It was about the service.
Yeah,
the product is absolutely important, but being able to convey that you were going to be able to provide them with a different level of service was of even greater value to them.
Right.
To say, hey, were you able to make some friends at SPAC, and have you been able to call on those folks during the course of the year when you had questions or inquiries or otherwise?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and it was funny because we got there and we're like, I know you. Hey, I know you. And then we realized we knew more people than we, thought were coming. And so, it was fun to meet and see them and catch up with them, and as well as meet other people and see how they're doing their business. Like I met a guy from Alaska, and he does schools in Alaska, and I thought that was really interesting to see how he plane hops from place to place to place.
Yeah, that's right.
It's really cool.
So I guess some of those people that you knew, you really wanted to say, why have you been keeping this a secret?
Yeah.
Right.
Right. If you were talking to someone who was really undecided about attending, what would you tell them? What simple message would you give them in the same confidential way that you now go and approach your schools? What would you tell them about the SPAC conference?
I'd say get on board or you're going to be left behind.
I would say finish up. Hurry up.
you learn so much at SPAC that I feel as though if you don't attend it, you're going to stay stagnant in your business and you'll get passed by. Like, it's really a place to grow and learn and educate yourself. And I mean, do it. It's so worth it.
Yeah, for me, I would say simply it was, for me, it was an investment. I mean, we got this scholarship, but we still had to invest in the time in the hotel and all of that. So for me, it was the single best investment we've made in our company so far. Because I have not walked out of a convention. I've seen people, you know, when they come to town, they give their talks. I have not walked out of anything and had tangible information that's going to help me get where I want to be. And this was the first time that happened.
You know, one of the things that we want to make sure people are aware of is that the scholarship application link is open on the website. So they should, people can go if they haven't been, and if they're on the fence about going, they can apply for that scholarship. It's a great program in honor of a longtime school photographer friend and family to some of us, the David Strawbridge Scholarship Fund. And so please take advantage of that. Those people out there that are listening to this broadcast, take advantage of it if you haven't been. Hey, you might want to bring an employee using the scholarship if you haven't done that. One of the things that becomes really evident is that your experience at the end of the day, if you look back 1 year in the past to today, do you think that your business would have gone in the direction that it's gone in the last 365 days had you not attended SPAC last January?
Absolutely not. Not a chance.
No.
The other thing is, and it's something that we hear oftentimes, and you know, we listen to it. It's a reason. We call it an excuse, but it's a reason some people don't come, and that's because I have something I have to take pictures of. You know, I've always been one to suggest that, you know, there are things that you have to take pictures of. If you can get the date changed, if you can hire somebody else to do it, whatever you need to do, it's more important for your overall business growth that you be in attendance as opposed to setting up to shoot one gig or one job. It's just nature of it. Would you agree with that?
Yeah.
Totally.
Yeah. Okay. I got you.
100%.
All right. Well, I want to thank you both for joining us, and I'm going to pull up the SPAC website so folks can see what we've got going there, and I'll share with them what we're seeing over there. But thank you so much for joining us. It really is a pleasure. We are thrilled that you were happy in attending. We certainly hope that you invite your friends, associates, and peers to join us at the next SPAC 2020. You know, this is the year of focus, 2020 focus. It's going to be a very interesting and robust program. So thanks a lot for spending this time with us here.
Thank you.
You're very welcome. Thanks for having us.
All right. Take care.
Bye.
All right, folks. I just want to share with you some information regarding the SPAC website. It has been launched with updates. The registration is wide open and available for you to sign up now. There's a lot of things going on. We have a phenomenal group of speakers that'll be making presentations throughout the course of the conference. This is a part of, it's not everybody, it's not comprehensive. However, it's a part of the SPAC 2020 educational team. All of this is online and available to be seen on the website for you at spac-usa.org. And there's a host of subject matter that we'll be going over. As far as our sponsors, you guys are very familiar with them. We strongly encourage you to work with our sponsors, our platinum sponsors, our gold, our bronze, our silver, probably not in that order, but work with our sponsors, seek their services out. They are the ones that make this entire conference possible for all of us to attend. They make considerable contributions to the organization by way of their vendor fees and dues, and they do it in a mutually beneficial way. So please check out that list. Go online there and look for these vendors when you seek out products and services. We do have some good news coming. We do believe that we have a lighting vendor coming in. We also have camera vendors coming in, which is something that we have not had in quite some time. On the registration page, and I'll try to get over there very quickly. On the registration page, this is a photographer-only event. vendors are only allowed if they have a booth. So it's a photographer only event. And the purpose of that is that vendors should not walk the floor while other vendors, those that are sponsors of our organization, pay significantly more and contribute significantly more to the education of our overall group. So this is a photographer only conference and it requires a pass. Of course, photographer and spouse, photographer and staff, that's fine. One of the things we want to be very clear on is that early bird special is coming in at $299. The earlier you sign up, the better it's going to be. You're going to make the commitment anyway. So you need to go ahead and make that commitment at the $299 early bird price. That ticket is required, and that price gives you everything at the show. That means the pre-con, that means I believe it's the pre-con, I can be corrected, Corey will get me if I said that wrong, but the whole conference, the trade show, along with a number of meals that we incorporate into our program. We've seen other organizations copying our model because it has become a very successful model, and we hope that you've been pleased with it. So, let me jump back. Pre-conference is listed there. If they are individual, it does not, that $299 does not include the pre-conference classes. The pre-conference classes are at $50 each, and there's a variety of their Schools 101, Sports 101, Advanced School Photography, and Sales Training. So there we have that specific information. The $299 includes the conference, all of the meals, all of the social events, and some of the parties that we have at night in the various suites. So I just wanted to share that information with you guys so that you be up to speed on what we're doing with SPAC 2020. We truly appreciate you joining us, and we hope to see you really soon. Have a wonderful day.